What does it mean to be worthy? Does one need to live by some code of honor, attain an ultimate level of strength or skill, or perhaps secure some magical MacGuffin? Po, from the Kung Fu Panda franchise, discovered exactly what it meant to be worthy, and trust me, the answer is less than you think. For the sake of China, I ask that you please hit that like button with a whooshy finger hold, and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get to the video. Now who is Po? Po is a panda who lives in the Valley of Peace, yearning for more out of life than to work in his father's noodle shop. No, Po's aspirations in life have always been to become the legendary dragon warrior and protect China from all who may threaten it. The idea seems fine and dandy until you realize Po doesn't even know Kung Fu and makes the worst impression possible on the one guy who can actually help him achieve his dreams, Master Shifu. Master Shifu quickly establishes himself as both the biggest roadblock and biggest foil to Po on his way to becoming the Dragon Warrior. Throughout the story, they both constantly butt heads as Master Shifu does not think that Po is worthy of becoming the Dragon Warrior, and Po refuses to give up no matter how hard Shifu makes his life. This trait of Po's drives Master Shifu nuts. It gains him the admiration of the Furious Five. You see, the Furious Five were 5 elite Kung Fu masters who studied directly under Master Shifu. Theoretically, Dragon Scroll, the big MacGuffin of the story that is supposed to endow whoever studies it with limitless power, would have rightly become the reward of one of the 5 for their dedication to Kung Fu. But Oogway, the wise and powerful inventor of Kung Fu, saw otherwise. Of course, this decision understandably rubbed the 5 the wrong way, especially Master Tigress. But Po's never-ending enthusiasm and refusal to give up started to change the way most of the 5 saw him. Sure, he may have ruined their lives' ambitions, but there is something to this guy. Po prepares for the 5 a meal using his lifelong experiences in a noodle shop. He makes them all noodles so good that not even Tigress has a bad thing to say. Even when Po tries to be modest and admits that his dad's noodles are better because he knows some mysterious secret ingredient, the 5 reassure him that his noodles are perfect. Although he had earned the trust of the 5, we still have a gigantic elephant in the room. You see, the reason why Master Shifu is so miserable and harsh is because about 20 years ago, he failed his star student. More than a star student, Tai Lung, Shifu's adopted son, was mistakenly led down a path of darkness by Shifu. Shifu endowed Tai Lung with excellent Kung Fu training and an unstoppable will, but failed to teach the young man any humility. Thus Tai Lung worked tirelessly every day of his life striving for the prize of the Dragon Scroll. He came to expect it as retribution for all his hard work, and not for his own self-worth. So when he was denied the scroll by Oogway, out of fear that evil lurked in his heart, he all but confirmed Oogway's suspicions by attacking the innocent folk of the valley out of anger. Tai Lung had now escaped imprisonment for his crimes, and was headed back to the Valley of Peace to take what he believes to be rightfully his in the Dragon Scroll, while Po and Master Shifu stay behind at the Jade Palace and learn how to work together. The 5 go off to stop Tai Lung. Tigress, the de facto leader of the Furious 5, leads the assault on Tai Lung. It is clear that she is not too far away from where Tai Lung was mentally after he completed his own training. Neither are the rest of the 5. Sure, they all began to soften up to Po before they left, but none of them realize that they are greatly overstepping their bound. It is not their destiny to stop Tai Lung, but the Dragon Warriors. They confront and nearly defeat Tai Lung, but are ultimately overpowered and outmatched. They demonstrated that they were all in fact not worthy of the Dragon Scroll, despite their training, by failing to stop Tai Lung and losing faith in both their master and the Dragon Warrior. Their pure skill in Kung Fu was nothing in the face of Tai Lung's expertise, but back at the Jade Palace, Po was becoming the warrior the 5 could not. Unlike them, Po's ego had been tamed by a lifetime of mediocrity. He, like Tai Lung, had never been able to properly believe in himself, but a changed Master Shifu was slowly turning that around. He trained Po well, taking into account Poe's unique strengths and weaknesses, and teaching him to harness what is special about himself. He allowed himself to open up to Poe, and during their training, they both became spiritually enlightened. They both were able to gain an appreciation for Kung Fu, not just as hard training, but as an art form. By the time the five had returned from their battle with Tai Lung, Poe was the most self-confident and well-trained he had ever been, but he was still shaken to the core to learn that the five had failed. In his and everyone else's mind, failure should not have been possible for these five masters. Despite Poe's rigorous training, all five masters should have been stronger, faster, and more precise than he ever could be, right? Just before the despair could truly set in, Shifu reminds Poe that he does have something that no one else has, the Dragon Scroll. After all the millennia of legends and fables made up about the legendary scroll, Poe would finally put them to the test. He opens the scroll to find it thoughtlessly, whimsically blank. The Dragon Scroll is blank. All hope is lost. Forget the Dragon Scroll. Forget the Dragon Warrior. Obviously, without the mysterious wisdom of the scroll, nobody there is a match for Tai Lung. The Valley of Peace is evacuated, and Poe reunites with his father. Poe has never been more disappointed in his whole life, and his dad can sense it. He decides that this is the perfect moment to reveal the secret ingredient to his noodle soup. Poe listens intently, expecting some fantastical ingredient or special process, but is completely dumbfounded to hear the real answer. Nothing. At first, Poe is confused, but then he pulls the seemingly blank Dragon Scroll out and sees something new in it. The scroll was never blanked. Poe's full reflection peers back at him from the golden parchment. The secret of the scroll was never limitless power, but to believe that oneself was limitless. With this, Poe realizes he does in fact have what it takes to defeat the seemingly invincible Tai Lung. He confronts Tai Lung at the Jade Palace, goading him into a battle for the scroll. Tai Lung instantly underestimates Poe, but soon comes to severely regret it. Tai Lung throws everything he has at Poe, but has little to no effect on him. Poe's idiosyncratic fighting style, mixed with his now limitless confidence, is Tai Lung's undoing. Tai Lung is so used to facing fierce, fast, and tough opponents that his strikes mostly bounce off of Poe's soft exterior. Just as Shifu was unable to train Poe as he trained the other five, Tai Lung's battle strategies are similarly useless. Even after Tai Lung does manage to land a serious strike on Poe, Tai Lung is completely lost, as Shifu and the rest of the five were when they first laid eyes on the scroll. Poe gets to his feet and assures him that the scroll is not empty. "It's you," he says. "You are limitless." Tai Lung only scoffs and continues fighting, but is quickly defeated by Dragon Warrior Poe. The five and the people of the valley return and give their full respect to the Dragon Warrior. At the Jade Palace, Master Shifu finally comes to know inner peace, as Master Oogway assured him he would. The impossible had been achieved. Tai Lung had been defeated, and all of China was saved not by a warrior of strength and power, but of confidence and faith. Truly, as Oogway had foreseen, Poe was worthy to be the Dragon Warrior, as he was able to look into the scroll and see himself instead of nothing. Always remember that in life, there is no secret ingredient. It is only you.